Hey all, Alex here from Music Hub, the home of the Music Deep Dive, and today we'll be doing a review of the 1839 novel by Charles Dickens, Nicholas Nickleby. Full title: The Life and Adventures of Nicholas Nickleby, containing a faithful account of the fortunes, misfortunes, uprisings, downfallings, and complete career of the Nickleby family. Whew. The third novel by the then 27-year-old Charles Dickens, Nicholas Nickleby was another product of serial publication, and in many ways it serves as a direct sequel to the Pickwick Papers. Dickens once again sought to write a larger scale story with this one, and the length of it really shows that he succeeds. It's one of Dickens' longest novels overall. But at the same time, Dickens drew from various different influences when writing this book. If anything, it stems from a similar place as Oliver Twist, where Dickens uses a more general plot to critique aspects of English society as opposed to the kind of fun satire that the Pickwick Papers represents. The criticism in Nicholas Nickleby isn't as focused or as persistent as that in Oliver Twist, but when it appears, it is in your face, impossible to miss. The plot surrounds the titular character, Nicholas, a young man of pride and honor who has to make his own way in the world after the death of his father. Needless to say, a lot happens in the 800 or so pages of this novel, and one important thing that distinguishes this from Dickens' previous novels is in how Nicholas himself is the plot driver without a shadow of a doubt. He is an admirable, passionate character, unafraid of confrontation, and given some of the directions the plot takes, he has some scores to settle by the end of the book, and settle them he does. Nicholas is the type of character who has such moral grounding in everything he does that he would be uninteresting or even unbearable in the hands of a lesser writer. But Dickens knows how to depict him as a flawed hero, prone to being headstrong at times, even if his heart is in the right place. I don't think the characters in general are quite as strong as they are in Oliver Twist, but at the same time, this isn't a complete sideshow of random people like Pickwick. You might get lost in the names and details, but most of these characters actually play a part in this book's climax. There's more of an emotional connection there. Nicholas's sister, Kate, is a great character. You see a real evolution in her personality throughout the book, and I think it's nice to have a strong female lead in a Dickens novel that isn't abjectly miserable the whole time. It's a nice change. The book's villain, Nicholas and Kate's uncle, Ralph, is one-dimensional but steadfast in its one-dimensionality, I guess. He doesn't have a super clear backstory, but I'm also not bothered by it. He gives off a very powerful and imposing presence, and when he and Nicholas go at it, it's a hell of a thing to watch those two strong-willed characters battle. One thing that I'm observing in these early Dickens novels is a real love for the fairy tale story. Not always the ending, but the overall arc of the plot. It's obviously there in Oliver Twist, as we discussed in that video, and it's present in Nicholas Nickleby, too. Maybe it was just me, but I felt a sense of security reading this, and I was never overly concerned that the main characters were going to be the ones to come off badly. Kind of unusual. That said, there is one particular scene, a death scene, that is gut-wrenching, and there's an allusion to the scene at the end of the book that is such a touching, beautiful way to close the story. Again, I make the Oliver Twist comparison. Both of these books talk a lot about love, and more specifically, what happens when someone who has never known love experiences it for the first time, and the gratitude that comes with that experience. Only, in Oliver Twist, the unloved character lives to experience that love ever more, while the character in Nicholas Nickleby gets to experience it but dies prematurely. Still grateful, though, for having experienced even that small amount of genuine care and affection. I tell you, the whole thing, it just gets you right here. If you can't tell, I thought this book was amazing, and I can only imagine that if it were a little bit shorter, the plot points in it would be as well known as those of any other Dickens plot. It certainly deserves to be well known and read by everybody, and 3 books into the Dickens run, I might be so bold as to call this my favorite work of his yet. Super, super excited for what's to come with him down the line. And that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm taking a break from Dickens novels after this to attend to some other books, but we'll get back into some of his other classics post-haste, rest assured. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, more reviews are to come. Tell a friend as well. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you next time right here on Music Hub, the home of the Music Deep Dive.